Let's get real for a second, people. You probably spent way too much time obsessing over your tank setup, thinking it's all cute and chill, until you realize your tank is basically a reflection of your entire existence. So let's talk about it. What does your aquarium really say about you? Whether you got a betta tank that screams I love chaos or a saltwater reef that's bleeding your bank account dry. We're about to unpack every single gallon. Grab your TDS meters, your neon colored fish, and that one fish that's definitely plotting your downfall. Let's get into it. Let's kick off things with the classic Nano shrimp tank. The perfect hobby for those who want the illusion of low maintenance. You started off thinking, shrimp are cute, and I've heard they're low maintenance, but now here you are, spending hours on forums discussing TDS meters and wondering if your shrimp are truly happy. But guess what, partner? They're not happy unless you have the perfect water conditions, and now you've got a tiny digital thermometer and a TDS meter just to make sure you don't accidentally murder your shrimp. You've probably thought you'd just throw in a few little shrimp there. Yeah, toss in some plants and you're done. Nope, no. Now you're obsessing over every parameter. You've got a TDS meter. You check the pH levels like you're prepping for a big exam. It's a lot more effort than you signed up for. But here's the thing, you'll love it. You're deep in the shrimp hobby now, analyzing water quality every second, even though at the end of the day, your shrimp are probably chilling without a care in the world. The truth is, you're just here for the challenge. You're the type of person who can't just do something, you gotta go full on. Hardcore. Nano Shrimp Keeping says, I'm all about low maintenance until I'm not, and then I'm obsessed. Good for you. Now, if you've got an African cichlid tank, sit down, pull up a chair. Yep, we need to talk. This tank is the fish keeping equivalent of living in an all-color, no-peace environment. Your tank looks like a neon explosion with more colors than a 90s rave, but that's where the chill stops. You've got no chill. African cichlids are the bad boys of the fish world. And I'm not talking about Martin Lawrence and Will Smith here. These guys are territorial, aggressive, and constantly looking for something to fight about. If the fish aren't fighting each other, they're probably staring at you, wondering if you're the next thing to attack. This tank says, I'm into the colors and none of the calm. Your fish aren't about peaceful coexistence, they're about asserting dominance and marking their territory. It's like drama in a tank, 24/7. But you love the chaos, and honestly, it's kind of thrilling. You're that person who thrives on energy, boldness, and let's be real, the feeling that you're living on the edge. Who needs peace when you can have a fish tank that looks like it's on the set of an action movie? But hey, as loud and in your face as they are, those cichlids are stunning. And your tank says you're not just here for serenity in the hobby, you're here for the drama, the challenge, and honestly, the flex. It's bright, it's bold, and it's definitely not for somebody who wants a chill fish tank to sip on tea and, do some mental detoxing. Next up, the betta sorority tank. Oh boy, you were sold on the whole idea of a female betta fish being this peaceful sisterhood, right? Girl power, right? Yeah, wrong. The betta sorority is basically the group chat where everyone's trying to be the queen bee and fight for the attention of every opportunity that is present. You might as well have called it the reality show of bettas, where the drama never stops and every betta is constantly fighting for dominance in the tank. I mean, nothing says girl power quite like constant aggression in a 10-gallon tank. Pro tip, don't do it. You want a much bigger one. Tank, that is. You thought you'd create this peaceful, supportive community for your female bettas, and now they're either fighting or hiding in corners because one of them decided that the plant is their new territory. You've spent more time breaking up fights than actually watching your fish, and honestly, this setup says, I love the idea of peace, but maybe I didn't realize the depth of my chaos. And at this point, you have fully embraced the madness. I mean, what else could you do? It's an emotional roller coaster. You wanted harmony, but you got a tank full of feisty bettas who probably need their own meditation sessions. But don't worry, you love it. You thrive on the drama, and at the end of the day, you get to say, I created this chaos, and I'm living for it. Oh, the plant at Aquascape. You started with the best intentions. You thought, hey, plants are pretty chill. I can just add a few here and there and maybe some moss and it'll be nice. And now here you are, pouring money into special lighting, CO2 systems, and fertilizers like you're running a full-on business. Your tank is now an underwater garden, but at what cost? I mean, aside from the fact that your bank account is probably gasping for air right about now, especially after you've spent more money on plants than you did on that overpriced cup of artisanal coffee that you got this morning. Let's get real here. Aquascaping is a lifestyle. You didn't just add some plants to your tank, you built a miniature rainforest. You've watched every green aqua YouTube video on how to get the perfect balance, and now you can talk about aquascaping the way some people talk about their favorite TV show. But that right there is where the emotional damage comes in. Between the countless plants you've tried, failed to grow, and constant maintenance, you've probably considered abandoning this whole hobby and getting a cat instead, like 3 times over. Your tank says, I'm in it for the aesthetic, but also for the slow destruction of my wallet. You're committed to the art, but it's also draining your savings. If you're looking for a challenge and you have the patience of a saint or a massive credit card, you found your niche. Aquascaping is for the dedicated, the dreamers, and the people who are okay with spending all their cash to make their tank look like something out of Avatar. The blue ones, not the airbenders. And then we've got the infamous Goldfish Tank. Oh, honey, if this is your main setup, we need to have a serious talk. Pull up a chair next to the other guy. Hopefully, you aren't the type to put a goldfish in a cute little bowl or a small tank and you swear he looks happy. Meanwhile, your goldfish is living its best life in a space that's way too small, probably rubbing its face on the sides like it's stuck in some sort of never-ending maze. But here's the truth. Goldfish are anything but low maintenance. They're not meant for tiny tanks, and they're not supposed to be swimming in circles for eternity. They need more than just a little water and a pinch of food. This setup says, I wanted a low maintenance pet, but didn't realize it's way more work than I thought. But here you are defending the setup because your goldfish is swimming. This tank is definitely a, well, we've all made mistakes situation. You're either new to the hobby or you just don't want to deal with the reality that maybe you need to upgrade your fish's home. At the end of the day, this setup is here to teach you a valuable lesson. Just because it looks cute doesn't mean it's actually good for your fish. So, do the right thing. Get it a bigger tank and maybe a friend or two. My personal preference for these large fish is at least a 4-foot long tank so you can enjoy them fully. Let's just say it right now, if you have a discus show tank, you've probably been redecorating your living room while your savings account weeps in the corner. Discus fish are the high-maintenance queens of the fish world. You're basically throwing money at these fish every chance you got. Want your discus to look stunning? Cool, that's gonna cost you. They need pristine water conditions, high-quality food, and more care than a plant-based latte order. The problem? Well, the problem is while your discus are living their best life with perfect water parameters and premium food, your bank account is questioning every life choice that you've ever made. This tank setup says I might be struggling, but at least my fish are living their best lives in luxury. Meanwhile, I'm gonna eat ramen for the next 2 weeks to pay for this filtration system. Yeah, you're all about precision and perfection, and you're in it for the long haul with your discus. So, who cares if you're eating cereal for dinner? The real flex is your fish have a better water than your skincare routine. But hey, you wouldn't have it any other way, would you? You're down for the grind and everything you do is about getting that perfect discus setup. But let's be real, this tank screams, I'm broke, but my fish are thriving, so I'm winning at life. Oh, the brackish water setup, the middle child of the aquarium world. Everyone's obsessed with either freshwater or saltwater tanks, but brackish water, boys? It's just chillin', quietly hoping for some attention. You've got those unique, borderline misunderstood fish that need a balance of both salt and freshwater, and they're not easy to care for. But guess what? You love it. You found your niche, and you don't need the mainstream to validate your hobby. You're out here creating a brackish setup that's basically the quiet rebel of fish keeping. This tank says, I'm not here to follow trends, I want something unique, a little extra, and definitely harder to keep than a basic freshwater tank. Brackish setups are for the creative fish keeper who wants to challenge themselves. You're all about experimenting, trying new things, and dealing with the fact that no one really knows what you're doing, but you don't care. You're enjoying your little corner of the aquarium world, and that's exactly where you want to be. You get to flex the fact that you're out here with specific fish that need a very particular environment to thrive. You're the offbeat person in the hobby, and you love it. Just be warned, your brackish tank might end up needing more care than you originally signed up for, but at least you'll always have the coolest fish. That's pretty sweet. Okay, if you've got the monster fish tank, let's just admit it, you're living the fish keeping version of Fight Club. You got 3 fish that are so massive they could probably eat a smaller fish in a single gulp, and you got 2 of them glaring at each other while one's plotting your demise. Seriously, the tension in your tank could cut through steel. You got beasts. These fish aren't here for peaceful communities? No way. They're here for dominance, for power, and whatever fish drama that they can stir up. You know what this setup says? This setup says, I'm not trying to create a peaceful community. No, I'm out here creating a fish gang. Everyone's angry, and that's the energy that I want. You've got a tank full of huge territorial fish that need their own space. They've probably lived life always on edge, ready to fight over the best rock, the biggest piece of food, or who gets to be king of the tank. And you, my friend, you love the chaos, the constant action, and the drama of keeping fish that could literally eat your other fish if you don't keep a close eye on them. That being said, you're definitely not here for a low maintenance vibe. Let's be real, this tank setup does not scream chill. You want high drama, you want power, and you want to watch your fish interact in a way that's almost as exciting as a soap opera, but guess what? It is working for you. Alright, Mr. Saltwater Reef Tank, let's just be real here. You wanted corals, you wanted a purple tang, and you probably have a second mortgage. You got sucked into the beauty of it all. The delicate corals, the colorful fish, and the thought that you were going to have your own slice of the ocean. But let's not beat around the bush here. You didn't get into this hobby because you were thinking about water chemistry and tank balance. You got into it because it's a flex, and let's be honest, you're out here showing off your tank to everyone who comes over because nothing says I've made it more than a reef tank with on a stick. I mean, designer SPS corals that cost more than a Michelin star restaurant dinner. That's what I said. This tank says, I wanted something that looks incredible and makes me the star of the neighborhood, even if it means I'm going broke over expensive lighting and corals that are basically entitled to their space. You didn't just want fish, you wanted the whole experience, the vibe, and of course, the social media clout. Now you're maintaining an entire ecosystem that's as high maintenance as a luxury car, but you're doing it with style. And sure, you probably have to make some sacrifices to keep it alive. Like, I mean, who needs food when you're paying for a tank that's worth more than a few of your phones? But hey, at least it looks amazing, right? The setup is basically the fish keeping equivalent of getting a designer bag. It's cool, it's high maintenance, and it's really expensive. But when your freaking corals are glowing under that actinic light, you don't care that your credit card bill is now a horror story. Look at here, if your fish tank is a bowl, we gotta have a serious intervention. This is your main tank? Yeah, sit down, son. I mean, it looks cute, but your fish are literally swimming in circles with zero room to stretch. You got a betta in there looking like it's questioning its life choices because it literally can't move. And do you think it looks aesthetic? Well, sure you do, if you ignore the fact that your betta is slowly turning into a frustrated fish on a tiny treadmill. This setup says, I'm just getting started in the hobby, or honestly, I don't care enough to do more research. You're in it for the visuals, but your fish is not. A bowl is like a big red flag in aquarium setups. It's the first sign that maybe you didn't do your homework. And while I get it, it's cute, let's be real here, your fish needs more than just a bowl to live its best life. This setup says, I didn't know better when I started, but now I'm just kind of sticking with it because I haven't fully embraced how wrong this is. And I'm super lazy. Honestly, if this is your main setup, it's time to consider an upgrade. Your betta deserves more. I mean, your tank deserves more, and maybe your life deserves more than just a tiny fish bowl. You and the goldfish guy, hey, you guys scram. Upgrade, right now, do it. Ahoy, mateys. If your tank has a pirate ship in it, a few glowing fake corals, and a random SpongeBob figurine chilling in the corner, yeah, okay, join the club, we need to talk. I mean, it looks cool, but maybe? That actually might be a stretch. Your tank is more of an Instagram post than a well-maintained aquatic habitat. And while you're living your best aesthetic life, the real question is, do your fish also love the decor, or are they just suffering silently under that pirate flag? This setup says, I love fun, I love cute things, and I'm okay with ignoring the whole optimal conditions thing for the sake of some childhood memory or memes. Sure, you got your fish in there, but the moment you made the choice to throw a plastic castle in the mix, you kind of sealed the deal for a low-maintenance, zero-science tank. Honestly, you're the kind of person who would probably rock a neon pink hoodie and say, it's not a phase, while ignoring any advice about water quality. The truth is, you're more about the aesthetic flex than anything else, and that's cool, just don't expect your fish to be living their best lives while SpongeBob's out here taking 60% of the tank. If the setup looks cute to you, you're winning, but your fish, definitely not. Oh, the bare bottom tank. You love to say function over form, but let's be real, this thing looks like fish jail. You gone through the minimalist and skipped over gravel or substrate. I mean, probably to make tank cleaning easier, but now your fish are just out here swimming on a bare cold surface, questioning the very meaning of life itself. You've got the no frills, no drama approach, but Your fish are seeing more of a sterile void than a welcoming environment. They're just out here vibing on nothing in a tank that's got all the charm of a waiting room at the DMV. Yeah, fun. This tank setup says, I'm practical, I don't care about the fluff, but oh boy, did I forget that fish also need some kind of mental stimulation. You're out here focused on function and maintenance, but your fish are living the equivalent of a fish treadmill. Yeah, just spinning in place. I know you're claiming it's all about efficiency, but what you really did was give them the coldest, least stimulating setup imaginable. Function, yes, but fish happiness? Not so much. And look, we get it. You're too busy grinding to care about tank aesthetics, but your fish are probably thinking, can we at least get like a plant or something? Your setup is probably effortless, but also in the most soul-crushing way. Think about maybe adding a little flair. Maybe your fish would appreciate it. And no, they're not asking for SpongeBob, okay? But maybe a rock or two wouldn't kill you. Oh, the paludarium. You had big dreams, didn't you? You wanted a mix of aquatic and terrestrial. Yeah, beautiful, lush environment that gave you major jungle vibes. Instead, you've got a tank that's half jungle, half swamp, with mold popping up in places you didn't even know could grow mold. What started as an idea to create something beautiful, this vibrant ecosystem, has quickly turned into a commitment nightmare. The plants are growing in directions you didn't plan for, and the humidity is at peak chaos, leaving your fish wondering what the heck just happened to their peaceful environment. This setup says, I wanted the best of both worlds, but now I'm dealing with too many worlds and way too much humidity. It's like 80 Floridas all together. You love the idea of creating something stunning. Maybe you didn't realize that managing both land and water at the same time would feel like a full-time job. Listen, man, your commitment issues are showing, both in the mold and the constant maintenance. Plants, water, humidity balance, that's a lot to juggle. And you're realizing maybe you wanted a low-key tank. You went full throttle into the hobby, and that demands way more attention than your last relationship did. Your paludarium setup says, I love the idea of a balanced ecosystem, but now it's a mix of mold, waterlogged plants, and a tank that's more work than it's worth. It's a cool flex, but maybe a little too high maintenance for the average fish keeper. At this point, you're just hoping the tank figures itself out. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna. The mixed community tank. This setup sounds innocent enough, doesn't it? You just wanted peace and harmony between your fish, just a little aquatic utopia with zero drama. But what you've created is basically a pressure cooker of passive-aggressive energy where every fish has slightly different needs, and the moment you turn your back, the aggression starts. It's like that toxic workplace where everyone pretends to be fine, but someone's always stirring the pot. That one fish who is supposed to be non-aggressive, yeah, it's the one throwing the most shade. This tank says, I just want peace. But, life had other plans, I guess. You tried to create an environment where all your fish would live in perfect harmony, but now you're playing the role of fish therapist, constantly monitoring, rearranging, and wondering who's gonna snap next. Spoiler, it's usually the fish you least expect. Nipping, territorial disputes over that one corner, and everyone acting too chill on the surface while secretly plotting their next move. Well, yeah, that's the aquarium version of a sitcom. You wanted peace, but your tank says, sorry, we don't do peaceful here. And now what are you doing? You're dealing with the fish side-eyeing each other like it's a reality show and no one's getting along, but you're far too in to back out. So, what do you do? Who knew? Just trying to be a good fish parent would lead to so much drama, right? Next, let's talk about the livebearer tank, the hobby that started with good intentions and exploded into chaos and babies. You were just trying to breed a few guppies, right? A simple, fun project to watch the babies grow. Fast forward a few months and now your tank's overflowing with fish. You got 400 baby guppies swimming around like it's a 24/7 party, and you're wondering if you've created an aquatic cult by accident. There's a point where you realize you definitely should have Googled how to control guppy population. But now, my friend, it is too late. Welcome to the guppy apocalypse. The gupocalypse. Yeah. This setup says, I started with good intentions, but now I'm knee-deep in fish babies, and honestly, I'm just trying not to lose my mind. You thought you were going to be a fish parenting pro, but now you're Googling how to deal with overpopulation and what to do with all these guppies. Seriously, somebody please send help. This was supposed to be a fun, laid-back hobby, and now you're considering buying a new tank just to contain the madness. You, my friend, are stuck in a never-ending cycle of baby guppies, stress, and slowly growing senses of dread. You might have wanted a simple setup, but what you got was the aquatic equivalent of a soap opera, where you're the overworked parent trying to keep everything under control. And spoiler alert, my friend, you are losing. And that brings us to the last, but not the least, the betta tank. Oh, it's so beautiful and serene. You got your betta in a gorgeous little setup, probably with some plants, a nice substrate, and that one fancy little ceramic decoration to make it pop. It's aesthetic. It is beautiful. It's peaceful. But deep down, we both know your betta's probably miserable. Bettas just aren't meant to live alone in small tanks, but you just couldn't resist that aesthetic, could ya? This setup says, I just wanted something that looked beautiful, and honestly, I'm just hoping the betta's okay in that tiny tank because I've been too busy to upgrade. You're putting your betta in space where it's stuck, not thriving, just surviving. The vibes are nice, but you're low-key ignoring the fact that bettas need more room to swim, exercise, and live a good life. But hey, the tank's gorgeous, right? You're not about practicality, you're all about that I want this to look cute aesthetic. Deep down, you know you should probably make some changes, but right now it's all about the vibe. Your betta's probably eyeing you with that help me look, but you're too busy adjusting the decorations to notice. Alright, that's a wrap. So, what's your tank really saying about you? Drop your setup in the comments and let me know if you're vibing with peace or just living for the drama. If you like the chaos, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications. Keep your water clean, your fish chill, and I will catch you later, fam.